I am Karen Wooley. I am a Distinguished Professor here at Texas A&M University in the Department of Chemistry. I've been at Texas A&M University for 14 years. As a chemist, I feel that most chemists are control freaks. We like to control everything around us. We like to first understand it. I'm a synthetic chemist. So as a synthetic chemist, my interest is in making molecules. And as a PhD student, I worked on dendritic macromolecules, which are tree-like structures, which were just fascinating to me. And so I've always had this fascination with controlling macromolecular architecture and building up molecules to have these intricate designs. What I also find fascinating about polymer chemistry is the utility of the polymer material. So most people think of polymers as being plastics. I think of polymers as being sophisticated plastics, because even the plastics you might find in sandwich bags or trash bags, it's pretty sophisticated in the chemistry and the engineering that goes into it. And some of the things that I'm most passionate about right now are our efforts on making polymers that can serve as superabsorbent hydrogels to essentially gel water and prevent flooding, and then release that water later and mediate the effects of drought. So to build those kinds of superabsorbent hydrogel materials, we have to think about what are we building them from? What are they going to ultimately break down to? So we're not impacting the environment negatively in either direction. So we're using sugars and other building blocks to make our polymer materials, and then those polymers break back down to regenerate those sugars or other natural products as degradation products. So my passion right now is how can we use nature to build functional materials that can be beneficial to society and then not have any adverse downstream side effects that could be unintended and unwanted. I've learned to recognize that failures are not a dead end, that actually some of the most exciting new developments come from failures. So when I was early in my, let's say, studies as a chemist in the laboratory, there were times when I would become excited when things would work and discouraged when they wouldn't. And I forced myself to really tone down my emotions and just recognize that I need to just be persistent, be determined, work hard, enjoy essentially the journey, whether or not the destination is ultimately reached as I had intended. I feel like I'm super competitive, and at the same time, I also am earnestly supportive of others. And I think having a balance of that, wanting to achieve something, but wanting to lift other people up is really important. So when I encounter challenges, then it's almost like there's a team of, people around me who are tackling those challenges along with me. I've been working for at least the last decade on trying to convince others in the community to, again, work with natural sources to build the plastic materials, and at that point build in mechanisms for those materials to either naturally break down or be triggered to break down. And I think that's coming around now. I actually have been involved in a couple of startup companies. Sugar Plastics is one that I co-founded with a colleague here at Texas A&M University, Ashley Yonke. And she and I are working on materials that can be degraded if they're lost in the environment. And our first targets are things like soft plastic fishing lures. So these are not only meant to degrade if they're lost in the environment, but also to be ingested and digested if they are taken in either within a fish or a bird or other wildlife. Ultimately, we want these materials to be also digestible if they're ingested, say, by humans. The second startup company that I've been working with is Tasha Technologies, and Tasha is a super exciting company. I'm their Chief Technology Officer, and we're working on several different product directions, from polymers that can be added to personal care products, and if they are washed down the drain, they will biodegrade within about a month. One thing that I'm super excited about right now, I'm passionate about, is an initiative that we're launching to basically revolutionize the entire chewing gum industry, making sugar-based biodegradable plastics to replace the kinds of non-degradable petrochemically sourced plastics, I don't know if people know that are already in their chewing gum. Just try to be as creative as you can. Try to, again, follow your passion, be genuine, never stop being curious, always try to seek answers to those curiosities, and maybe develop some mottos for yourself. So I'm someone who runs mottos through my head often, and a few of mine, I'll just give you some examples, are one that I always tell myself, especially toward the end of the day as I'm getting fatigued and thinking, I'd really like to go lay by my pool and have a glass of wine, is I have to tell myself, work first, then play. And so, that just gives me that extra little oomph to get those last things done that I need to before I can go and relax and not have things racing through my mind all night and keeping me up from sleeping. Another motto that I really like is no one is an island. And that means that we have to work together. Again, we have to build this team, and being competitive is not a negative thing. I think everyone should be as competitive as they want to be, but never be competitive at the expense of someone else. I think it's always, again, be your harshest critic, push yourself to do the best that you can, but also elevate others around you and really, really work together.